Welcome to the show Health Talk with Balbir. Balbir Sohi wallo tanu sare no pyar bari sat shri akal, adab, namaskar. Hello. We are here today with Rowntree Montessori, grade 7 and grade 8, as we did one episode before with Ms. Singh and the students of grade 7 and grade 8, and today we are with Mr. Braid and talking about similar stuff, but also about preparing the students for their higher education, as well as preparing them to live life as a good human. And what are the things that we need to pay attention on while we are preparing ourselves about having a good lifestyle, focusing on something that is more important than just be a career-oriented professional. So we will talk about all of these things in details, and also we'll talk to the students how they are helping themselves to stay on the path and how they are making sure that they are fulfilling their dreams apart from fulfilling their parents' dream, and how difficult it is sometimes a conflict between them and their siblings and their parents. So we will talk about all these, how we can balance our lifestyle as a children, and how as a parents we need to think from the outsider what's going in their lifestyle. So we will continue this show, and before we continue, I'll let you know that this show is sponsored by Smiles on Wheels, a mobile dental hygiene clinic which can come to your doorsteps and do all the services that you need for preventative dental hygiene. Moving forward, thank you so much to all the students, wonderful students here in the studio, and thank you so much, Mr. Braid, for coming in. And if you can tell a little bit about yourself and how you get into the Rowntree Montessori Brampton Academy and how you're enjoying this.
No problem. It's my first official year. I came in as a substitute last year, so got to know all these guys and just really proud to be part of the academy. I teach grade 7 and 8 English, geography, and history. So we definitely deal with the academics, but also personally I do stress to be a good person and to be always demonstrating good character throughout the day.
So are you a teacher from a long time, or how did you come into the teaching? Was that a profession that you always wanted to be in?
I kind of, stumbled into teaching. My connection to working with the youth was more on an athletic basis, and I discovered that through tutoring that this was the area that I needed to be in. So I'm a late bloomer, you could say, as far as getting into education. So it's my second year as a teacher. So definitely experiencing new and wonderful things every day, and enjoying the job.
It's a learning every day, and sometimes throughout when we are working, then we realize that what are the things you actually enjoy. And people change their career when they are in 30s, 40s, or even late 60s. I have seen people going to the university and thinking, I really want to do this, and I think I enjoy that more. And that's how it becomes so difficult being a student of grade 7 and 8 and think of what we're going to do in grade 9, 10, 11, 12, and then choose the university on basis of the subjects that we are taking now. And those are the more stressful years, I would say, in any student's life to decide what you want to do, because sometimes, as we talked to Ms. Singh, that parents want something else and then we want something else to be in when we grow up. So talking to these beautiful kids over here, so if I can talk to you, what's your name?
My name's Yanni.
And what would you like to be when you grow up? And is this what you want to be, or you're told by someone?
This is not what I've been told. What I want to be when I grow up is I want to be an aerospace engineer. I want to work at NASA to build different technologies.
And what your parents does?
My dad's a mechanic, and my mom works at, she's basically an assistant.
Okay, so it's not something that they forced you to do.
No, it's not.
Right? Absolutely perfect. And how about when you are at home and you are dealing with your peer pressure of any siblings or any teenager, probably the cousins, how would you cope with that? Like, how do you answer them that this is what you want to do and why would you want to do?
Well, I don't have any siblings.
Do you feel lonely sometimes then?
Yeah, sometimes.
Sometimes. Yeah, we all need someone to fight back, right?
It is. Yeah. But no one's really questioned me about like what I want to be or anything, and Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So we'll talk to the other kids now about the same thing. So, okay, Tia, what's your name?
My name's Arya.
Arya. So, what would you let us know about having a sibling pressure on you, and sometimes the parents' pressure to, your brother and sister are younger or older?
I have a brother, and he's younger than me by 5 years. And I feel that
You have to do a lot for him, hey?
yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes I have to take care of him, but I think it's good practice for maybe like future. Sometimes I think that peer pressure, sibling pressure is a thing because sometimes your parents, they take examples from even your younger siblings, not only your older siblings, and they show that you have to maybe like follow what your siblings do or other way around too. So sometimes I think that sibling pressure can also be very
Tough on
tough.
you.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you have any cousins or something? So your parents compare you with someone? That's what I'm actually asking, that is there any comparison going on and you're sick of that and why they're comparing us with someone else and it's me?
I have some cousins that are older than me by a few years, and they're smart. And they went. My older cousin actually went to a university in Michigan, and my parents sometimes compare me with them when I maybe don't get a great mark on a test, and sometimes I get tired of that because I don't like being compared to. I think I'm my own person, and I think that you shouldn't compare your children with other children.
Okay, so emotionally, how does that affects you?
Well, it affects me like for a day or two, and I feel bad about myself. But sometimes maybe I tell my parents that I don't like being compared, and they usually understand, and they stop comparing for a while. But then sometimes it comes back to you.
Okay, the bigger kids at the back. So I want to hear one of you. Do you have siblings, and or any other kids around you, and how do you feel when your parents compare you?
So I have a younger sister, and she's only 3 years younger than me. And my parents sometimes compare me with her, even though she is younger, because when I was at that age, I might not have been as smart, and now I'm going ahead quite far, but they still compare my marks with her marks sometimes, be like, she's getting better than you at this, you need to get better at this. And they sometimes need to understand that I am older and my studies are much harder than hers. So her getting a better mark in that strand and versus me getting a worse mark, it's okay because I have a much harder time.
Okay, so how do you feel when they compare? Like how you cope up with that pressure when they compare you like that?
When they compare me, it's like I don't feel good at all. But then I have to remind myself sometimes that she is much younger and her studies are actually, for her they are hard, and for me they're equally as hard because we're both probably going new into this. So I have to remind myself that even though she is younger, she is quite doing the same thing as me, but her studies are still a little bit easier. So that's how I remind myself to make myself feel better.
Okay, so anyone else wants to talk on that, on the peer pressure of the siblings we are talking about, or any cousins that, yeah.
So at home, when my brother's doing his work, I have a younger brother 3 years younger than me. Sometimes he has trouble, it's mainly math, and it's normally him, he gets compared to me. I do quite well in math, and my brother struggles sometimes. And sometimes my mom would say, look at your older brother, he's doing good in math, you have to be exactly like him. Even though I'm the person who's being told that I'm better than them, I still feel a little bad. Because I know that my brother, he excels in other sports parts of the strands, especially gym. He's really athletic, he goes outside a lot more than I do. And I don't think it's fair that my parents sometimes compare me to him. We have very different abilities.
So as an older sibling, as the one who's a hero in this type of a situation, so how do you go to your brother and help him? How do you help him and cope up with this? What is your responsibility? Because right here we talked about is like they are suffering because they are being told. But in this scenario, your brother is being told to be like you. So what is your responsibility you feel to go to him and, make him strong enough not to feel bad?
I think I put it a bit upon myself and a bit from my parents telling me you should probably help him. So I try my best when he has his homework to help him without giving him the answers, to try and get him to think and get a little accustomed to it. And so far it seems it's been working quite a bit. He's been doing a lot better in math since then.
Okay, perfect. So, Mr. Brett, you probably have heard from teachers a lot of times like, their siblings were much better and they're not doing good. What is the problem? What is the issue? And sometimes they literally look at you as a teacher that why this is coming up. They are both in the same household. They're getting exact same things, how one is behaving this way or that way. So how do you cope up with that?
I think what we need to do as educators and parents is set realistic expectations.
Absolutely.
And we need to use all the data available to do that. And education and marks are just one way. As Balraj is mentioning, his brother has talents in other areas. So we need to look at where our talents lie and encourage that. And I think the key word that I'm hearing here is pressure.
Yeah.
And I would like more parents to encourage their children to excel, so they don't feel anxiety about doing well. Doing well is something that comes with time as well. So I would encourage all parents just to look at your child in a realistic way. Talk to the teachers to find out that feedback and use it to encourage. We don't want to use information to make someone feel bad about themselves or look at school in a negative way, because if they have a negative outlook on things, then especially at a young age they might tend to step away from that. So it's just in all aspects of what we do, we need to be encouraging children, adults to be at their best.
Okay, so that's a really nice one. He said ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪੇਰੈਂਟਸ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਥੋੜਾ ਧਿਆਨ ਦੇਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਪੂਰੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਦੇਖੋ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਹੋਰ ਕਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਐਕਟੀਵਿਟੀਜ਼ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਅਗਰ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਤੋਂ ਇੰਨਾ ਟਾਈਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ for any reasons ਤੁਸੀਂ ਨਾਈਟ ਸ਼ਿਫਟ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਆਫਟਰਨੂਨ ਸ਼ਿਫਟ ਹੈ ਮਾਰਨਿੰਗ ਸ਼ਿਫਟ ਹੈ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਟਾਈਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਪੈਂਡ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਤੇ ਮੇਕ ਸ਼ੋਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਟੀਚਰਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਵਨ ਔਨ ਵਨ ਮੀਟਿੰਗ ਕਰਕੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛੋ ਕਿ ਹੋਰ ਕਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਨੇ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਬੈਟਰ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਸੋ ਉਹ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਇਨਕਰੇਜ ਕਰੋ ਬਿਕਾਜ਼ everyone has their own special area so ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਏਰੀਆ ਹੈਗਾ ਇਟਸ ਅ ਟਾਈਮ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਵੱਲ ਧਿਆਨ ਦਈਏ ਉਹ ਕਿਹੜਾ ਏਰੀਆ ਹੈਗਾ ਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਨਕਰੇਜ ਕਰੀਏ to do better and then there will be much better results they will excel in that instead of we putting a pressure on from our side without realizing their strengths so wait for our show coming back after a 2-minute break keep watching. ਵੈਲਕਮ ਬੈਕ ਟੂ ਦ ਸ਼ੋ ਹੈਲਥ ਟਾਕ ਵਿਦ ਬਲਬੀਰ ਇਸ ਸ਼ੋ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਗ੍ਰੇਡ 7 ਤੇ ਗ੍ਰੇਡ 8 ਦੇ ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਫਰਮ ਰਾਉਂਟਰੀ ਮੌਂਟੇਸਰੀ ਬ੍ਰੈਂਪਟਨ ਅਕੈਡਮੀ ਕਿ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਫੋਕਸ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਸਟੱਡੀਜ਼ ਜਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਇੰਟਰਨਲ ਸਟਰੈਂਥ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਤੇ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਸੇ ਹੋਰ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕੰਪੇਅਰ ਕਰੀਏ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਐਲਡਰ ਜਾਂ ਯੰਗਰ ਬ੍ਰਦਰ ਸਿਸਟਰ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੰਪੇਅਰ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਪਰ ਉਹ ਕੰਪੈਰੀਜ਼ਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਇਹ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਹਰਟ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ ਨਾਲ ਦੀ ਨਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਹੁਣ ਇਸ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਐਪੀਸੋਡ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹ ਗ੍ਰੇਡ 9 ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਾਈ ਸਕੂਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਮੈਂਟਲੀ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਪ੍ਰਿਪੇਅਰ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਆਪਣਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਫੋਕਸ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਨਾ ਗਵਾਉਣ ਸੋ ਇਸ ਸਾਰੇ ਟੌਪਿਕ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਮਿਸਟਰ ਬ੍ਰੇਡ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਗ੍ਰੇਡ 7-8 ਨੂੰ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਪੜ੍ਹਾਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਜੀਓਗ੍ਰਾਫੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਾਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਹਿਸਟਰੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਾਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਕੀ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਇਸ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਸੋ ਮਿਸਟਰ ਬ੍ਰੇਡ ਅਬਾਊਟ ਇਨਕਰੇਜਿੰਗ ਦੀ ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟਸ ਟੂ ਸਟੇ ਫੋਕਸਡ during their high school years. So what are you trying to incorporate in your studies and how we are helping them?
Well, one of the things I do personally is try to, in order to get them prepared, is to definitely teach them in a way that they will be experiencing in the future. So at Rowntree, we always tend to teach a grade up, and that's what we're doing this year. But one of the main messages that I give my students is you do not want to close the doors to your future before you decide what you want to do. So often at this age, they're not really sure what they want to do, but if their marks and their grades aren't at the level that is going to give them the opportunity to make the decision in what they want to do when they reach that decision is something I stress. So that's one of the things that I do focus on.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would like to talk to you. What's your name, dear?
My name is Zara.
Zara. So how you are preparing yourself going into high school and staying focused in your career?
I feel like when going to the future, you need to understand and learn which topics you are good at, and you need to focus on those topics. Like going into high school, maybe if you're super good at math and you're not that good at science, try and focus on math more and make your math marks super high while you're still maintaining your science marks.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
I'm not exactly sure yet, but I definitely want to venture into the field of medicine.
Into the medicine, and you're focusing on sciences for
Yeah.
that? And any extracurricular hobbies or activities that you are participating now?
I'm part of the student council and the robotics team now.
How the student council is making you confident and helping you in becoming a different person? Is there any changes you see after you became the student council, that some areas you are grown and some areas you feel more confident?
I feel like in the student council, you are a leader, and you're a leader to the whole school, and you need to be more confident. And I think I've kind of learned to be more confident and make myself feel like a leader.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Okay, we're gonna go to this guy over here. What's your name, dear?
Swans.
Swan. So, Swan, what do you want to be when you grow up?
I'm not exactly sure right now, but I'm pretty sure I might go into computers.
Into computers. You like spending a lot of time on computers?
Yes.
And how much time do you spend on the iPad or computer at home?
Most of my time, but like first I finish my homework and then I go and play games or anything.
Okay. Do you do any extra activity other than the sitting on the computer, or like extra physical activity to keep you focused?
Yes, at
every day?
school I participate in volleyball club and basketball club.
And at home?
At home I sometimes just go outside and play around with my friends.
Okay. So anything you want to tell our audience, or you feel internally that you need to do to stay focused towards your career?
I think I need to stay more focused in English and geography and history, because I think those are very important topics and I do not pay attention that much.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing. And Arman, I would like to ask you a question. Do you ever did something that you shouldn't be doing, and did you learn something out of that, and any experience that you want to share and make these folks and all the audience, all the kids that are watching out there at their home, and say from your personal experience that this was not the good thing that you were doing, and if we are making the mistakes, accept them, lesson learned from a mistake, and then move on?
Well, last year, I'm grade 8 now, and when I was in grade 7, I would stay up late on my iPad when I shouldn't have, and for a little while I did it, but then I started going more tired, not only when I'm in the evenings, but even in the mornings, and then I started realizing that it was wrong, and it was affecting the way I am during the day because I was so tired. And
Did it
I felt
affect
that was
your
wrong.
grades as well?
Yes, because I was
Was your parents
unfocused in
aware
class.
of?
Well, not till afterwards. Well, I did it, and then my parents afterwards, they found out. They found me with my iPad one day, and they got really mad, and they found out that way, and it was affecting my grades because I was more tired during the day, and I wasn't paying attention enough.
Yeah, so I think we all make the mistakes, especially ਜਦੋਂ ਬੱਚੇ ਰਾਤਾਂ ਨੂੰ iPad ਵਗੈਰਾ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਪੈਂਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ, so there should be a rule. I think we all have to follow that. No electronics going in their rooms. When you are supposed to sleep, you sleep. So anything would you like to share that affected in the past, and you learn a lesson, and you're giving your message to our audience to stay focused, especially moving forward in high school?
Yeah,
It's the same, like it's with electronics. So in grade, like last year, in grade 7, so I would, so after when I was supposed to be doing homework at the time, so I did my homework, but then in the middle of doing my homework, I would get bored while doing some particular subjects, and those subjects are important, but it wouldn't be interesting to me. So I would start playing games, even though I was supposed to be using the electronics like for group work. So I think, and then after that, I realized that I wasn't really doing so well in those subjects because that I had viewed and like in my homework. So I realized that I shouldn't be using the electronics.
Okay, so Mr. Braid, even in the school, you would have find some when you are using those iPads, MacBook, mandatory in certain subjects, that students are going on different sites
Absolutely.
and losing the focus.
Absolutely. We actually put in place this year something called digital citizenship, where the message to the students is if you're going to be a good person offline, that you should be a good person online. And it is definitely, kids are attracted to it, right? So there's nothing you can do about them being attracted. So what we want to do is teach them how to use the devices in the right way. So we definitely focus on that at Rowntree. And one thing I just want to mention is that it's normal.
It is.
And if these things are happening to you, the biggest thing that we need to do, again, is encourage the behavior to change and allow that change to happen. So,
Absolutely. And I think all that includes teamwork with the parents, the teachers, and the students to bring them back to their studies and focus
Absolutely.
and encourage what they are good at. Not always saying bad about wherever they get the bad marks, but also saying good about where they are getting the good marks. I think that's one of the things that the parents don't pay attention to because they always like to nag about things, what the people are not good at or the students are not good at. So anything you would like to talk on that?
Just, you want a well-rounded child, and I think, again, the focus is always on the grades. And yes, we want to make sure that our kids are getting good grades so they can, progress in their education. But we can't, stress it to a point where it's counterproductive.
Absolutely.
So, again, it is a team. It's parent, it's peers, it's everyone involved has to stay focused and understanding that doing it together is a lot easier than doing it alone.
Absolutely. So what's your name, dear?
Jason?
Okay, Jason. So I have a question for you. Preparing towards the high school, how you are trying to help yourself being more confident and more focused?
Well, one thing I do to be more focused is if I'm getting bored of something, for example, homework, I might just take like a 10-15 minute break and then go like play sports or something, then come back. So I feel like re-energized and I come back to my focus.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I think that's the best thing that all the audience need to learn, that whenever we feel bored, instead of going onto the different sites and again sitting there and in front of the computer, get up, do some stretches, do some exercise, and then walk around the block and then come back. And I think that will make you more energetic and put the focus where you want it to be. Anyone else wanted to say anything on the same thing, that how you are helping yourself to be confident in the class? So Bilraj, how did you help? The first time when you stood up and you talked about anything, you stood up in front of people, it was a little harder. So how did you overcome that?
One thing I told myself before I do a speech is I remind myself that everyone here is probably going to make the same mistakes, and we can always build off of this. This isn't going to be a one-time thing, and my life isn't on the line for this.
Yeah.
If I make a mistake, I can come back and change what I've done before.
Absolutely, absolutely. You learn and then you make the best the next opportunity you get. So who is the one who goes to the stage, who goes up and say, I'm the best? Right? You do that? Okay, so if we can give the mic to him. And okay, what helps you?
My parents help me practice before I go on stage and talk. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you say that you're done with your recital, and then now you know what you are going to say. Perfect. So we had a very good comments over here, the things that we are supposed to learn and put it on our lifestyle and in our day-to-day living, that you learn and then you move on from your mistakes and share those mistakes with other people. As a couple of kids over here, they shared their mistakes. For others not to make those mistakes but learn before from those ones. So Mr. Braid, our time is almost up, and before we wrap up this show, I would like you to say something to our audience, to the parents who are watching in there, how they can keep their kids focused. Apart from the physical activity, something that they can internally feel confident about.
I would encourage, and I encourage parents that if their kids are having difficulties, even if they're not, to set aside specific time to actually observe your student, I'm going to say students, but to observe your child and how they work and learn what type of student, or if it's in a different avenue, what type of person they are when they're doing certain things. And then you'll have a better understanding of what they need to work on. And maybe they have tremendous focus. Maybe they need to work for 45 minutes, go outside, come back. So I would encourage them to just get educated on who they're dealing with and maybe step out of the, don't look at it or look at them as children, or as your child sometimes, and just look at them as a person.
Yeah.
And try to help them as best they can, as if you didn't even know them sometimes. So.
Absolutely, because certain kids, they can work really well having a high music on, and certain kids, they really need a quieter place. So it's about the person to person, how they can perform better. So I think we really need to dig deep down and find that. And I hope you like this show. Our time is almost there, and please do let us know. The feedback is really, really important, how we did and what are the different topics that you would like us to bring up over here. And I will promise you, I will bring one day a high school kids and talk about all the high school issues as I was asked before. And hope you like the show. Please follow us on the Facebook page, on the Twitter, and do let us know anything you want us to improve on. Thank you so much, and see you next week.